Time to give my predictions for the Rumble. Hello guys, one more time and welcome to Ring Royalty. My name is Alexis, as you already know, and today I'm going to give you all of my predictions about the Women's Royal Rumble match 2021. In this video, I'm telling you the 5 women that in my opinion could win the match and some other women that could return. This is one of the most exciting pay-per-views and matches of the year for everybody, or at least the majority of the wrestling fans. So without further to say, let's start with this video. Let's start with the potential winners of the Royal Rumble match. The first one being pretty much the obvious choice, and it will be Bianca Belair. The EST of WWE, one of the favorites to win the Rumble, she had an awesome performance last year and she eliminated 8 women, but this year she has all the hype in the world, all the momentum going, and now that she's part of the main roster, it's even more of a logical choice that she wins the event. She's one of the greatest athletes that the division has right now, and it would be fresh to see Bianca headline WrestleMania, as she hasn't had an opportunity at the title yet, especially not in such a big event as WrestleMania. And ever since she arrived on Raw a couple weeks after WrestleMania last year, she has never had a title opportunity. I would say there's a high probability that Bianca wins, but you never know with WWE, so she would be my first pick to win the event. Another pick that might win the Rumble for me would be Rhea Ripley. She has such an amazing character, she's so over with the fans, she already looks like a superstar, and she has established her name in the NXT division. Now that there's a lot of rumors that she's moving to the main roster, what better way to debut on the main roster than winning the Royal Rumble and headlining WrestleMania? We all know that last year she lost the NXT Women's Championship to Charlotte, but this time she would come in as a challenger and probably would be a way better build-up to the match than that we had last year. I already talked about why Charlotte and Rhea Ripley's match, and especially the build-up to the match at Mania, wasn't the best. In Over Here Cancelled Storylines, check it out if you haven't. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that Rhea Ripley is one of the main contenders to win this match and headline WrestleMania. She has all the tools to win it, she has a lot of charisma, and she's a full package. She's really good in the ring, she's a good seller, she's a great character, so what else could you ask for? Rhea Ripley is definitely one of the favorites to win the match. When it comes to my third pick of a possible winner, I didn't even think about her last week, but after this week's Raw, she's definitely has to be one of the main runner-ups to win the match, and I'm talking about Alexa Bliss. So Alexa Bliss, with her new personality, her character, is dominating the ratings, and she has all the attention of the WWE Universe, and it's well deserved. Her match against Asuka on Raw was amazing, and not necessarily wrestling wise, but her character and the things she's doing lately are so out of the box that she just stands out naturally. I'm thinking that with her new persona, as she seems to be like Bray Wyatt, having the nice one and then the evil one, she could go far in the Rumble. I'm not sure if she would win it, because I can see multiple plans for Alexa at WrestleMania that doesn't really involve a title match or even winning the Rumble for that matter. But there's still a high probability that she could be the winner of the match, you never know. My fourth pick is someone that I think deserves to win the Rumble match, but I'm not sure if she would win it, as she's looking very weak as of late, and I'm talking about Shayna Baszler. One of the strongest names from the NXT Women's division a couple years ago, and one of the most dominant women in last year's Women's Royal Rumble match, has been looking like a joke lately. And everything is Nia Jax's fault, because ever since they got paired up, she lost her dominance, she lost her character, she doesn't even look like the Queen of Spades that we already knew back in NXT. But what could be a great way to build her up again? That would definitely be winning the Royal Rumble match and finally breaking up Team Shania, please. Let the women in the tag team division shine on their own and put Shayna where she belongs, in the singles championship run. She could easily be a great and credible contender for Asuka or even for Sasha Banks. because that would be so innovative. I mean, we haven't really seen Sasha against Shayna Baszler before, Shayna against Asuka in a one-on-one match in a pay-per-view, or for that matter, Shayna Baszler against Sasha Banks. So any of the champions on the main roster would be great opponents for Shayna. We all know that she can go. Probably a lot of people don't really are fond of her, but she is very decent. I still believe she should have won the Raw Women's Championship at last year's WrestleMania against Becky Lynch. But you already saw that in this video over here, that it was everything wrong with Becky Lynch's Raw Women's title reign. So anyways, back to the point, Shayna Baszler is one of my favorite ones to win the Rumble, and probably she's the one that needs it the most. The fifth and final woman that I believe could win the Royal Rumble match is a little bit tricky because I'm not even sure if she's participating in this year's Rumble, and I'm talking about Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville returned recently on SmackDown, and she's now like an assistant to the general manager or the executive figure on SmackDown. As we all know, she lost her WWE career, or should I say lost her WWE career against Mandy Rose at SummerSlam. I'm not sure if they're going to keep that storyline playing, and for that reason Sonya cannot be an active competitor, and that's why she's more of like a managerial role or executive role. But putting that aside, it would be such a big surprise to see Sonya back in the ring. She was so over when she left. She established herself as a very credible heel. She was cutting fire promos, and she was doing excellent in the ring as well. Her character was finally shining, so it would be very nice to see Sonya not only participate in the Rumble match, but maybe win it, possibly have a stare down with Mandy Rose in the process, we don't know. So for those reasons, I think Sonya Deville would be a lovely pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble match this year. Now it's time for the returns, and when it comes to this topic, I'm choosing 5 women that not necessarily I want them to return, but I think the chances of them returning are higher than some other women. And we're going to start with the obvious choice for everyone, Melina. Melina has been rumored to be back in WWE for months now. She was back at Raw Reunion, despite not doing anything than just saying lucha lucha, but that's a conversation for other day. But I think a lot of fans were expecting Melina back in a WWE ring at some point. She still has it, and she can easily go with the current roster. It would be lovely to see her back in the Royal Rumble. I think she has a lot to offer. She has always been one of the most popular ex-women's wrestlers that WWE had. Her moveset is unique, and she can still bring a lot to the table and make something very interesting out of the Royal Rumble. I mean, with her splits and her flexibility, I can imagine lots of spots that involve Melina during this match that could be remembered in the years to come. So I would definitely be so pleased if I see Melina returning at the Royal Rumble. Another woman that has been rumored to be back in WWE for a while now, and that is very probable that she's back at the Royal Rumble too, would be Eva Marie. It wouldn't be my first choice of a return for the Royal Rumble match, let's be honest. Probably a lot of people agree with that statement. Then again, we're talking about probabilities and chances, and Eva Marie's name is probably one of the most heard in recent weeks when it comes to WWE, and especially returns, so she could easily make a return in the Royal Rumble match. I hope if she does, that it's a very short participation. I doubt even if she was training all of these years that she was out of wrestling, I don't think she's that good, or she's at the level of the current roster. So, I mean, it would be nice to see her, I guess, but not as a real threat or as Iron Women of the match. If I had to see Eva Marie in the Royal Rumble, I would love to see her just for about 5 minutes, maybe scoring a sneaky elimination and then getting eliminated, but that's about it. The third woman is someone that I think should return. She had a great showing, and it's very likely that she does. I'm talking about Mickie James. So Mickie James is in a weird spot where we are not sure if she's retired, as she was basically promoted as a legend during Raw Legends episode, or is she still an active wrestler on the roster. Her return last year was so bad. She had that weird return match when she didn't even get an entrance and she lost by countout. Then she had that weird Raw Women's Championship match with Asuka too, where the referee basically stopped the match out of nowhere. And then she just lost to Zelina Vega clean in a #1 Contenders match to fade away, basically, because she never appeared again. So it would be awesome if Mickie James gets an opportunity to shine in the Royal Rumble. She has been part of 2 Royal Rumbles before, but she wasn't really showcased that much, so it would be lovely and a way to give back to Mickie James after everything that she has done for the company, to give her a good showing in this year's Royal Rumble. I think she deserves it, and it's very likely to happen, so I just hope they do. She has already been cleared. I think she had a nose injury, but she has already been cleared to compete again, so there is no excuse left to not include Mickie James in this Royal Rumble match. The first spot is actually shared by 2 women who are part of the current roster, but they hasn't wrestled for a while, and I'm talking about Naomi and Lana. Well, Lana's injury was kayfabe, and I think Naomi underwent surgery at some point, but now she's ready to return. Just WWE doesn't have anything for her. That's why she hasn't returned yet. So I think these 2 women could easily return at the Royal Rumble. They are still current stars, so it would be the logical choice to do and to include them. Naomi's return last year had such a good reception. It was such a shame that they didn't showcase her better, or even took advantage of the hype that she had to give her a title match despite not winning the Rumble. When it comes to Lana, I think WWE was building her nicely before she was taken out, so she might be a very important part of the Rumble, as Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, who were the women that were involved in that attack that injured her, kayfabe. So maybe she could have a big role in the Royal Rumble match, eliminating either Shayna, Nia, or doing something relevant that could make her stand out. When it comes to Naomi, I just wish her the best. She's probably doing that spot where she's not eliminated and she does something amazing just to be back in the ring and get eliminated like a minute later. We have seen it a couple times now, so it's not impressive, but I'm always crossing my fingers for Naomi, and I hope that she gets the opportunity that she deserves, because she's one of the greatest. She has been for a while. She just needs time and spotlight to showcase everything that she can do. And the 5th and final woman that I'm going to include when it comes to returns would be Becky Lynch. I know that she just gave birth a couple months ago, but there is something that tells me that WWE just wants Becky Lynch back in the ring as soon as possible. And after a month and a half, I am not sure if she cannot compete. I'm pretty sure that they will find a way to include her in the match somehow, but that's just a personal belief. You might disagree. I think Becky left in a way that WWE wasn't satisfied with, because I mean, never expected Becky to get pregnant. That's why she retained the title against Shayna last year. So they probably want to reinsert Becky into the division as soon as they can. And what better way to do it than the Royal Rumble? She's probably not going to be able to have a long performance, but just putting Becky back on the map will be enough to bring a lot of attention to the women's division again, because we all know that Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley are probably the women that WWE trusts the most when it comes to big rivalries or big storylines. So for that reason, it would be cool to see Becky back. I miss her. I'm not sure if it's very likely to happen, so that's why she's in my last spot. Because as the old saying goes, everything can happen in WWE. Before ending this video, I need some predictions for my fans. So you share your opinions about possible winners and returns in my main channel, Alexis Girani, and I'm going to read some of your thoughts. David Primero says, who would win? Rhea Ripley. Who would return? Eva Marie, Mickie James, and Melina. Okay, David, so your picks are very similar to my picks. I agree 100% that Rhea Ripley has a high probability of winning this match, and that Mickie, Melina, and Eva Marie are 3 of the women with the highest probabilities to come back at the Rumble. So I agree, thank you for your comment. Once again, AJ says, winner Bianca Belair, returns Melina, Naomi, Becky Lynch, Lana, and Ronda Rousey. Thank you very much, AJ, for sharing your opinion. Interesting that he mentioned Ronda Rousey in the list of returns. I am guessing that she's going to come back eventually, but something tells me that she will be back when the crowds are back too, because it will be such an explosion of a return. So I doubt she will be back at this year's Royal Rumble, but once again, you never know. Mac Rosales told me, winner Liv Morgan or Billie Kay. Return Eva Marie, Paige, the Bella Twins, AJ Lee, Melina, Naomi, and Stacy Keibler. Well, in this case, I'm assuming that you're choosing the ones that you would like to see. I would love to see AJ Lee back. I doubt it's gonna happen, but I would love to. When it comes to the winners, I think Billie Kay and Liv Morgan don't really have any probabilities of winning, despite Liv Morgan being one of the girls that improved the most, and I would love to see a breakout moment for her in 2021. And Billie Kay being the most entertaining women on the SmackDown division currently, I doubt that WWE is going to give any of them the opportunity to win the Rumble. But with that being said, thank you very much for your comment, Mac. X, the beautiful nightmare, my lovely friend Alexan says, I think people that could win would be Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, or perhaps Lana. Okay. And returns, I would say Melina, Eve Torres, and Alicia Fox. Trying to think of women that were on Raw Legends. So this makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not sure if Lana will be pushed to the moon to win the Rumble match, but it is a high probability, as we have seen WWE do crazy shit before. When it comes to returns, Alicia Fox and Eve Torres, I didn't even think of them. I think Alicia would be more likely to return than Eve, but then again, very nice choices, thank you. And the final comment that is included in this video is from Harmony Ward. Possible winners, Bianca or Bayley? Alright, interesting. Returns, Ronda, Paige, Naomi, Melina, Kelly, Caitlyn, Tegan Nox, and Lana. When it comes to the winner, I mean, Bayley? Yeah, right? Well, Bayley has been champion for a longest time, but I mean, she's part of the Horsewomen, and I think she's always one of the favorites to win big matches. She has made lots of history in WWE, so why not? Bayley could win the match. When it comes to the returns that you mentioned, the only one that would stand out to me and I would really enjoy to see would be Caitlyn. I think Kelly has already returned many times, and I mentioned my opinion about Ronda Rousey before, but Caitlyn sounds like a nice pick to me. So thank you very much for your submission as well. Okay, so these were my predictions for the Royal Rumble 2021. Returns and winners. So tell me down in the comments what are your thoughts, who could win this match and who could return in the match as well. It is always so nice to read a variety of comments from many different points of view. Do you agree with my picks or would you have some other ones? Tell me all of that down in the comments. Once again, a like, a subscription, and a comment would help me a lot with the motivation to continue posting. I'm so happy that everything has gone down so well in 2020. We are now 400, and in 2021, I hope that this number just keeps increasing. I would say stay tuned because there are some very interesting and unexpected things coming to this channel. The content is going to get amusing, so my recommendation will be keep watching. Thank you once again for your support. My name is Alexis, as you already know. Here is my Instagram as always, and I will see you guys next week with a new video. Thank you and stay safe. Goodbye.